Hello, and welcome to Three Things. Our guest tonight is one of the hardest working women in Chicago sports. At last count, she had 47 jobs. She trusts humanity so much that she used White Sox Twitter to find an opening day date for her sister. Mark that one disaster that COVID-19 helped prevent. The last time I saw her, she was warning a very hungover me that I shouldn't ask for autographs at the Sox Fest Players Breakfast. She did it very gently, which I respect. One of the nicest people I have ever met, our favorite MC ever, Alyssa Bergamini.
Oh, not even close.
I love it. That was such an introduction.
How do you do on the name?
I screwed it up.
And I knew it would.
It's Bergamini.
We were trying to give it like an Italian twist.
Oh.
Go with that.
And you know what? I went over it today several times, and I'm like, it
totally
sounds exactly how it looks. Why are you fucking this up? I fuck it up. And like all day I've had it in my head. So
it's all
welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm so excited to see all your faces.
Oh yeah, great to see you. Great to have you.
Hey, you too.
And you don't need to lie, Alyssa. It's not really that great to see our faces.
Trust me, I'm not that nice.
Oh, you're doing loads better than we are. Look at Loaf, for God's sakes. This guy got a yellow shirt on and everything.
What do you mean? I'm rocking the Hawkeyes Want to Win shirt just for Alyssa. I mean, what the heck? I'm just for the occasion, baby. That's right.
I know. I need one of those. That's what I'm going to do right after this. I'm going to get myself one of those.
You do. You just got to let my man, My Sock Summer, know. He'll get you all hooked up.
I'm in.
I want to see. Let me check what I have left size-wise. Okay. We might not have your size. Unless you are like a 3XL.
All those free t-shirt Thursdays, I have thousands of those, and they're all like extra larges, and those are my favorite t-shirts. I tell people all the time, I'm like, doesn't matter what size they are. Like, you could just wear them to bed, wear them around the house, and that's all we're doing anyway. So that's been my wardrobe. It's been the free t-shirt Thursday shirts, day in, day out.
That's true. That's business casual these days. It's like house pants. Like I got excited because I asked my wife, order me some more house pants. And I got 3 pairs of house pants. And I'm like, it's like getting a new suit. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm putting the burgundy ones on today. Look how sharp I look.
Uniform. I love it.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to your mom, Rhonda, who follows all of us, I think, on Twitter.
Oh, Rhonda.
And
my momager.
Your mom, she works at the stadium, right?
Yeah. So she worked there. She was a teacher, and then during her summer, she worked in the Diamond Suites. And then when she had me in 92, then she stopped working at the Sox, just focused on raising me and my sister, and then went back in 2005. So what a year to go back.
Wow, that's great timing.
That's good timing, yeah.
Yeah, so then, she's been there since, and like sometimes we'd go to the games together, and like I'd see her throughout like literally the whole game, so we were like basically never apart. So it's fun.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, she loves her daughters. Shout out to your sister too.
Shout out to Elena.
How is she doing?
Elena, she's working hard for United Airlines. She's
still flying around.
Yeah, we actually were at O'Hare last week. Don't tell anyone. But it was totally fine, and it was super safe. So I know no one's supposed to be traveling right now, but we had to get away for just a little bit. And we flew standby, went to Florida, and it was lovely. And places were open.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida's wide open. Florida, that's why they got the UFC fights going down there.
Yeah.
When all that stuff first started happening, people are like, oh, Florida's crazy. Yeah. And they didn't really have much more death count than anybody else. It's just it's so weird. I don't know. This stuff is just so weird.
Yeah.
So
I'll stay in Illinois though, I guess.
Yeah. We drove by a bar on Ridge Road over in Indiana, and it was open, and there was people outside and inside, and we were just like, this is crazy. Like,
oh my gosh. Never thought I'd miss turtles and cork and carry so big. I already missed them in the off season, but I'll still dabble going there here and there. But now I'm like, oh, they can't ever shut down. I would be mortified. I'm like, I need to give them all the business.
Now, what do you think our risks would be if we got a nice group from Sox Twitter? We got us, we get Sam Panayonovich, we get a bunch of us, and we break into Cork and Kerry like tomorrow. Tomorrow during the day, we'll just break in and we'll have drinks there. They won't even know, right?
I feel like Joe is behind the bar, like no matter what. Like he's probably in there.
He's barricaded in. He's inside, right? You can't get in there.
I'll try to reach out to some of the bartenders and see if we can get the keys. And I'll invite this, like, we'll have us 4 plus Sam.
Yeah. Sounds good. Then we can keep social distance. That works perfect.
Yeah. 6 feet.
And it's good that we'll be at a bar because there'll be enough alcohol for Sam to drink while we're there. So that would be perfect.
Dang that Southside kid.
Hey, so this is 3 things. That was the first thing. The second thing is a question that you brought to the group. So if you want to lay it on us, feel free.
Okay. So first off, I have some beef with you guys.
All right.
Oh, no.
Let me just pull it up on my phone. Speaking of Sam, he's the one that sent this to me. I know you guys had the prop bets earlier in the year.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Of course, I don't think that's still happening. But you had as number 45, Alyssa Bergamini trips to the 108, 2.5. All of you said under.
We're looking good right now.
Yeah, I think we got it. We nailed it.
So you're winning. But I absolutely would have visited you guys. I love visiting the 108 section.
Alyssa, no, you would not have. Okay, let me fight back on this one. No, you wouldn't have, because usually you're there in an official capacity, and the powers that be don't want you and putting the camera on us in stadium. They'll show us occasionally on TV because we're kind of a sideshow, but they do not want the other fans knowing the stuff that's going on in our section. So they just want to keep you away from whatever shit's going on. We have Wally.
They will send you over there like they send Chuck, where they wait until it's like a day game where it's 2 degrees out,
where they know
we're all at work,
April.
and they send Chuck over there, and he's like, "Oh, where are the 108 guys?"
It wasn't even that it was a day game. It was a rescheduled day game. It was like, it wasn't even supposed to be a day game. It was like, they just put it in there.
Tracy and I are driving back from college, and I seen it.
Oh, I would be out there. I would quit my job to be able to go to that game.
So, okay, my question was tying into that. What happens in section 108? Since clearly you guys doubted me to come over there a lot. There's maybe a reason why I'm not coming over. What am I missing? What's a typical day? Like, it's the Sox game day.
A day in the life of the 108. So I think so basically I'll try and recap it, and you guys just fill in the blanks where I'm missing, because I go blank around the 7th inning. So they're going to definitely have to fill in.
After they cut you off, then you're done.
Oh, I never get cut off.
But they stopped selling alcohol on the 7th.
No, I've got my extra inning beers.
Yeah, we back it.
I'm good. I'm good. The ones that aren't in my waistband are underneath my feet. So it usually starts. Let's go with a Friday, because a Friday is probably the best day. So I'll get out of work around like 5 or 6. I'll stop home and I'll eat a beer, and then I'll head down to Beef Loaf's house because he lives right by the park. And so then we'll go out on the deck, have some beers until My Sox Summer can get there, unless My Sox Summer's already there, and then I know that the night's gonna go way off the rails.
Okay.
So then we'll wait, and then because Beef Loaf lives on a street that's close to the park, but not a lot of people know as a street, a lot of people park there that we know. So then you start seeing cars start pulling up, and then the beef deck starts to fill up with some people. We have a lot of drinks, and then we wait till the fireworks go off.
Okay.
The game started, and then we start finishing a beer, and then we leave for the game with a beer.
So you're like ace deep at this point.
No, we're probably close to a 6-pack.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
And so then we have one for the walkover.
Okay, perfect.
Although I don't always do that, because
you don't do red
I'm not a coordinated person, so I can't really drink a beer and walk. It's very difficult for me. I might choke. You never know what's gonna happen. So then we get over to the game. We kind of scope out which gate's looking the best, because believe it or not, in the 2nd inning there's still a line for some reason. So we try and work through that.
If I go as a fan to any game, I have to be there for the 1st inning, and I'm so frustrated when people don't want to go in maybe right away, and it's the 4th inning. I'm like, come on. You're missing the whole day's game.
We get there before the 4th inning. But we
I'm not surprised by you saying that because
we
I
rarely get there for the first pitch.
Okay. So you miss all the beginning pregame
first
stuff that I worked so hard on.
Yes, that is
We do,
accurate.
yeah.
I apologize for that.
Okay.
Blame those two guys. I go early, but they said no.
I mean, you got to realize the economics of this, though. The beers that we're having at Beefloaf's place are either purchased at like a grocery store
Yeah,
or
they're
just
at
given to
$14.
just gifted to us by someone like Goose Island, right? So
Right.
we're
Maybe.
going low price for
Yeah.
the beers there. We get inside, it's $10 beer night. So
Okay.
those prices escalate quickly. So having one inning of not that is helpful. So that
Saves the bucks.
so then we get in there. Unfortunately, our beer guy no longer lives in Chicago, but what we would typically do would be text our beer vendor and let him know that we're here.
Okay.
And then he'd come
Or we would text him back because he's already texted us and was like, where the hell are you guys?
That's
Why
true.
aren't you here yet?
And so if he's there, he comes over with the nice cold case from the back, and we buy around usually about 2 each.
Okay.
And then get going. If he's not there, then we hike upstairs to the Goose Island because it's right at the top of our section.
Okay.
And buy a bunch of goose and then come down, and then we're just getting into the game. There's usually some trivia around like the third or fourth inning, which is just something that we made up. We will come up with trivia questions. They're very difficult.
We do random trivia stuff.
And I cannot answer one correctly unless I've had like 4 or 5 beers. If I've had, but there's a window because if I get to 8 or 9, I can't answer them either. So there's this like beautiful window of where I can actually answer questions. And then we usually get, some people come down and visit. So every game, like someone new is coming down and visiting, like telling some stories, and we're watching usually for the past few years, we're watching a pretty bad game. But I was hoping to see some really good ones this year.
No.
And it's kind of that on repeat for the rest of the night until about the 7th inning. They cut off beer sales, and then like people disperse. We don't. We're always there till the last pitch.
Yeah, we stay
Very last out. I like that.
Post game could go a lot of different ways. If there's a bunch of people that have hung out, we're not going to take like a whole crew back to Beefloaf's house, right? Because
we're not.
His wife would murder us.
I mean, we could. My wife is very lenient with all that stuff, and she likes having people come over. But there are limits to that sort of thing.
Yeah, not like 20 people.
Not 20 people.
Exactly.
We get like 8 or 9 of us. That's fine. That's good.
So if we've got a big crew, we'll typically go to one of the bars around the neighborhood, or if someone has been tailgating, we'll go back out to their car, and that's even better. That's the best scenario. So you got out to like Lot B or something and have some more beers until they kick you out, and then you end up at either like Cork or Turtles or in an alley, wherever. And then at some point, a magical Uber shows up, and I fall into it, and then I wake up at my house.
I am missing out. This sounds thrilling and so different than my game days.
Yeah, a little.
Run down your game day. See, look
at what is your day?
You guys want to know mine? Okay, let me think back to last year when I was working there. So I get to the game 2 hours before the first pitch. So if it's a 7 o'clock game, get there at 5. I park in lot G, which is under the bridge, under the railroad tracks, a little far. So by the time I park, I walk all the way through the employee entrance, which is not gate 4, but you would think, which that's like where the front office is. I walk all the way to the employee entrance, walk through the tunnel. So I pass the visiting team. So actually the tunnel walk is like one of my favorite parts because I could see all the visiting players. And a lot of them are on the phone or FaceTiming with whoever, is on the other end. You see a lot of the coaches, you see a lot of the players stretching. So that's always very interesting to me because I don't, when it's the other team, you're like, oh, wow. Like, what's up? Texas Rangers. So go through the tunnel, go all the way up. I go to the second floor. So we have a room in the second floor. After that, we have a pregame meeting. So just kind of a rundown of everything that's going on. And then I go all the way to the broadcasting booth, and Gene Honda's in there. So I chat with Gene for a little bit.
Sweet.
We have a like cafeteria up there. So I'll grab, usually I chug coffee or like, you know, get a snack up there. I'll do that. I grab my microphone, grab my mic pack, and then I go downstairs, wait for my game day rundown, which since you guys aren't there in the beginning, maybe you don't know, but it's just what's going on during the game. It's a script that I get sent from my boss, and I memorize it. Like, so nothing I do is through a prompter, or I don't have like signs or anything. So I memorize all that, spit that out of my mouth. That's usually around like 6:50. And then they do the national anthem, the first pitch. And then from there, I'm running all around. So I could be in the Xfinity zone for the middle of the first, and then I'll have to be in the scout seats by top of the second. So, and I run with my microphone too. My microphone's always on. So everyone like in the broadcast booth, they could hear me. So I'm like huffing and puffing, and any conversation I have, everyone knows like who I'm talking to, what I'm saying. So I'm very careful with that, let me tell you. So if I ever see you guys and I'm like, can't say anything appropriate.
That's why you don't come to the 108.
Yeah, probably. That's probably why.
I can't get that background. No.
Yeah, that's
no
bad
good.
background noise.
Man, Alyssa, where did you hide that body? Is that a live mic? Sorry, we didn't mean to say that. No.
Well, for the longest time, I didn't know that this was the thing, that the microphone was pretty much always on. And my sister, Elena, we would goof around, and she'd take my microphone and she'd sing, like really like give it her all. And she would sing into it. And they thought it was me. And I'm doing that. And I found out like later in the season they could hear it. I'm like, they're like, you're really good at singing. I'm like, oh my God, that's not me. That's my sister. That's Elena. And she went to the stadium too. So she was also on the clock, but she was singing in my microphone. So yeah, that's just a little tidbit there. I always have to remind people when I see them, or like text them like, hey, I got my mic on. But so yeah, I'm there the whole game. I stay till the end, and then honestly, usually we go out after and get drinks.
Yeah.
Or we sit in Lot G, which was kind of like a new thing we started. We'd sit in Lot G and like kind of tailgate, but we can only stay there for so long. They usually let us stay till as long as we want, but like Sunday game days are my absolute favorite because you know, it's a 1 o'clock game, and usually it's hopefully nice out, and then it's just like a Sunday fun day where everyone's just enjoying their time. So I miss that too. I miss the work aspect and the social aspect.
Which one is Lot G? Where?
Yeah.
Is that on 33rd, or is that on?
Is that 39th?
39th or 33rd?
It's on 30. Wait, is that on 35th? I'm drawing a blank now. It's right by the hot dog stand.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
Okay, yeah, right by
It's
Red
the
Hot.
farthest one. Like it's the farthest one underneath the train tracks.
Okay.
Yep.
For all the other employees.
And,
Yeah, okay,
you know, the
yep,
Bucket
that's-
Boys. So,
Yeah.
it's a hike. I like get ready, and then by the time I like park and then go do all my things, I just basically get ready again because I was sweating.
I was gonna say it's hot.
Yes, you would think like we would park close, but it's fine. Like, you know, parking in Chicago is a hassle to begin with, so I'm thankful to even like have a spot and drive my car there. But that's the one part I'm like, oh my, and you can't be late because if you're late, it takes you 20 minutes to get up.
Right.
So it's usually a journey from literally Lot G to what I have to do.
I don't know if you know this, but we're really good friends with Brooks Boyer. We could probably work out something like somebody to come pick you up, and then you won't have to sweat.
I think Downey,
please.
Mike Downey should pick her up.
You could do that too.
Right.
Yeah.
I should fake an injury one of these days and see if they pick me up on a cart.
Downey's really good at driving a golf cart too, because when we went to the beer fest, he drove us in and took all our stuff.
Oh, that looked so fun. I forget why I couldn't go, but that looked amazing.
You said he's really good at driving the cart. You guys drove that for 4 feet, and me and Beef had to come running up because all the stuff was falling off the back.
Was falling out of the back.
Exactly.
You guys did not do a good job.
I was trying to give Mike props. Way to ruin it.
I'll have to ask him about this.
Oh man, he's a fun guy. He made a mistake of starting texting with me, so I'll text him every once in a while, and it's a fun chat.
I made that mistake too. I'll never text my sex summer again.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. So, Alyssa.
Yes.
You work in television. This is our three things. Here, this is the third thing. This is the question to you. Okay. You work in television. You went to school for broadcast journalism and all that. Forget all that stuff. Mm-hmm. What reality TV show would you want to either be on or host?
Okay.
And that's the question for everybody too. So you guys think about it too.
Okay. I don't think you guys, this would appeal to you, but it's, actually, I take that back. It's called Selling Sunset, and it's new on Netflix, and it's all very good-looking females, and they're real estate agents. So maybe you guys would like this. So they're real estate agents in Beverly Hills, and it's a reality show. And they make so much money from looking good and selling a house in Beverly Hills. I am rethinking my career path after watching this. I'm like, do I want to get into real estate? But then I'm like, I don't think the Beverly Hills houses are around here.
So, yeah, maybe not the same kind of commissions.
Yeah, no, not the same. You can really get six figures from selling, and they're big houses, but not, like whatever the price is there, it would be different around here.
Right.
So it's these two twin guys, and they run the business, and they just hire really good looking females who are real estate agents, and they make it look so easy to sell these houses. I'm like, there's no way. So the second season just came out. I binge watched that the other day. So if I were to be on one, Selling Sunset, I'm sticking with that to make some money.
Okay. What would you host?
I always find those I always find those real estate shows so outrageous because of the pricing of everything, and then especially the ones with the vacation homes and shit. The people, they're like, the guy catches butterflies for a living, and they got a $2 million budget. Like I know, like they're so outrageous that they're fun.
I know it's very staged, and I easily fall into it clearly. But I'm like, hey, looks good to me. And everyone buying these $20 million houses, they're like in their 20s. One of the ladies was like, I'm turning 30, so I really need to start like settling down. I just turned 28, and I'm like, oh shit, I got none of that figured out.
Yeah. She's got to settle down and get off her OnlyFans.
Right?
You get right into that market.
I think that's what she was doing. Maybe.
Now, I would. You guys have one, Pat or Loaf?
Absolutely, I got one.
Greasy.
So, it's a show that I watch a lot with my daughter, and it can be hilarious. And I would choose either being a contestant or being one of the hosts on it. Oh. And it's a baking show called Nailed It.
Oh, I love that show.
So fun. Like if you were the host, you get to talk so much shit to these people's creations that look nothing like whatever they're supposed to be making.
Oh my God.
And then if you're a contestant on it, it's just like this mad rush to make something you have no shot at actually completing. So you just kind of like try to do your best, and like they all get instructions before, and most of them don't follow the instructions. They try to like make everything with Rice Krispie treats, and like it's hilarious. And then also, I guess the only bad part is they have to the hosts have to taste it.
I was gonna say you got to eat it.
Sometimes the food is not good. The looks on their faces like not that bad. And they're like, but other than that, I love that show.
And what is it called again?
Nailed It.
Okay.
So
is
like
it on Hulu, like Netflix, or just like on TV?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. All right, that might have to be my next one then.
Oh, it's hilarious. You gotta. They even did a holiday one because it's basically the memes that you would see, like where someone tries to make like the really fancy dessert, and like they just destroy it. Like everyone does it, and they just got like the most average bakers, like that. They're like home bakers, and then they show them the most ridiculous possible thing you could try and make, and then just go like have at it, and like. And
they're playing for 10 grand though. So like
they're
really trying. Like everyone's really trying to get this thing right. And it's so funny them judging. Like even when you're watching it, you're like, I don't know whose is the best. These are all horrible. Like someone's got to win out of this group though.
Gotta see this. I'd go on that for $10,000 just so
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, and like everyone's terrible, so it's not like you're like really would be like embarrassed by what you did, because the other people like it's like they don't set them up. If they don't set themselves on fire, they pretty much made it out fine.
They win.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Terezi, what do you got? What would you like to do?
So you know which one came to mind like immediately for me was, I don't know if you guys remember this, and Alyssa, you might not even have been born when this was out, because this was I don't know, this was probably, man, I don't know how many years ago this was, but this is like one of the first reality shows I ever saw. It was on VH1, and they actually got 4 touring bands, like very local, like touring bands that like just live in a van for a living. That's what they do. They tour around. They play like small clubs, and I forgot what it was even called, but
What the hell was that called?
they put a competition on, and they had to do like weird stuff in between, like where they go to like Guitar Center and have like drum offs and stuff like that. But the actual way that they won the events, like they would go to like a place like the Metro and play a show, and the fans that came out to the show voted on who was the best that night, and that was the whole competition. And so they just went around the country doing this, and they followed them. But it was all the stuff that like would happen on a tour with like 4 or 5 guys in a band arguing about stuff, getting drunk, having problems with with the people that they left back in whatever home state they were in. And like, it is one of few reality shows that I've ever seen that even closely reflected reality. But it was very fun show. But the bands were actually not bad. So like it was also, that was a good part of it too. So I don't know, I would love to be on a show like that, or even host that show.
Yeah.
That would be just, the hosting would be awesome, to just follow all these bands around who are like.
I can see you doing it. You seem very passionate about this. I can see you hosting it.
Well, I used to work road crew, so it's a similar thing. If I were hosting the show, I would hope I'd get slightly better accommodations.
Yeah.
I was going to say, tell her the bands you did road crew with. I should go look those up.
So yeah, I mean, like you probably wouldn't heard too much of it, but I mean, like Dope was a pretty big band. They did that "Spin Me Right Round" cover. Pigface, Professional Murder Music.
Oh my God!
All the big names.
All household names.
Top sensations.
Wow.
Yeah, but Dope and Pigface are the ones I probably worked with the most.
When did you do this?
This was early 2000s. Like, so I was on tour, working merch and road crew for the beginning of the 2005 season. So when I came back, the Sox were in first place, and I was like, you guys are messing with me, because like all I ever see is like every couple days in a paper what happened. Like I wouldn't really know what was going on. So I got back, and I think in like, I think it was like May or June, and like these guys were telling me, like Beef and a couple of our other buddies were like, dude, the Sox might go all the way this year. And I was like, you guys are just fucking with me. This is bullshit.
Yeah, because there was no like social media to see any of that. If you didn't watch TV or read in a newspaper,
And I couldn't afford to have like a phone that had the internet like going around the country, because like it would have cost like $100 a minute. So.
Yes, because like every time you like type in a website, you just anyway.
I legit only had a phone to make phone calls. Like that's all my phone did. And
Missed
so,
those
like,
days.
I would talk to Beef every couple days. That was about it.
Yeah, like 2005, I feel like I could take pictures and send them, and that was about it. Like texting was somewhat new to me too. I was getting like 10 cents a text.
Yes.
Oh, it's crappy.
Good old days of
I didn't understand it.
Exactly.
Terezi, the show you were talking about was Bands on the Run.
Okay.
And the bands were Flicker Stick, Harlow, Josh Dode's band, and Soul Cracker.
I actually saw Flicker Stick a few times live after that show happened.
And they're from Dallas, Texas.
They are.
Dallas.
So now, if I was going to be on a show, the show I always wanted to be on, another show that Alyssa's going to have no idea what we're talking about, but it was Finders Keepers on Nickelodeon back in the day. And they had this you have to look it up, but they had this huge house, like a house. And there was you go to room, and they were always looking for a flag, and they would give you like 4 clues, right?
Oh.
So you'd find the first thing, and then you would find a clue, and then you'd have to go to the next thing and you're always looking for these flags, and it was awesome. And the last like part of it, you could just destroy the room looking for this stuff. It was.
And this is on Nickelodeon.
It looked really awesome. Yeah, it was on like Nickelodeon back in the day, like when you can't do that on television was on another show.
Yeah.
So Alanis Morissette was a child when this was on, is what you're telling me. Okay.
Oh no, it was after that. But anyway, so that was the one. But I mean, for a game show, but I always wanted to be on the Real World. But I was like,
that's what I would have guessed about you, my sex summer. I would have
loved to have done that. But I like every time I'd watch the Real World, and then like you'd see like these people and be like, man, they're just these really messed up situations. And it's like, no, those are just really messed up people they're putting into these things.
A certain type of person to go on, I think, any reality show that's tailored like that. Even like the dating ones, like 90 Day Fiance, even like Bachelor, you have to be a certain type of person. I could never do that. Yeah. People always are like, you should go on. I'm like, I would hate that. I would can you imagine? No, can you imagine like having a fiance for 90 days and that's your person?
Like that's it. The way that they pick these is the exact opposite of the way, like if you got someone's resume and then we're like looking them up and you looked them up on LinkedIn and you saw like 90 red flags and you're like, I'm not going to bring this person in for an interview.
Yep.
They look at that and go, this person, I want this.
Yep.
Well, I've always heard that they do psychological tests before they come on to find out what people's like tendencies are, and then they put people together that don't get along, just like make this chaos happen.
It makes for like even when I'm with some friends that are just crazy, I'm like, oh my god, I wish I was a producer because I would get you guys on a show right now. Like you look for those type of people, or like the crazy families. I'm like, I wish I had a camera right now. This is nonsense.
At the beginning of the Shelter in Place, I watched Love Is Blind.
Yeah,
and a couple of the couples made it.
I
know.
Like
they actually are still married apparently, which is what's crazy. They had like the little reunion show, and it was like they're still together, and I was fucking amazed.
Still together after how long?
A year. I mean, that's or whatever it was, 6 months or whatever.
This was
that was still amazing.
Well, it's wonderful to see love last that long. It's beautiful.
Shut up.
But
you gotta be such a hater.
Circumstance. Yeah, he is being a hater. You're being a hater.
He's being a hater.
Yeah.
Love Is Blind. They've been casting in Chicago, or before everything, casting in Chicago. So now that's going to be Chicago based.
I really like that show, particularly for the moment when they actually got to see the other person.
Yes.
You could see the look on their face, because you have the whole where you connect with someone psychologically and but then the physical part, and then you could see in their faces when they're not that physically attracted to the person. It's such a thrill. It's like, yeah, they messed up.
Yeah.
It's kind of BS though, because all those people were attractive. It's like
good looking.
It's like one of us walked out and they're like, oh God, and like, oh.
Speak for yourself, my suck summer.
No, the Jessica, the mean one, the one that everybody hated. She's like from my right next door to my hometown. So that was a big thing. Yeah.
And she was a Cubs fan.
Yeah, she's a Cubs fan and
everyone I talked to about the show. Everyone I talked to about the show, I told them that you knew her, my sex summer.
Yeah,
I said, he's friends with her from back in the day.
No, we're not friends. So we've never met, but I have friends back there, like a good friend, a friend, and his wife is best friends with her. So like she was on the show, like you saw her.
That friend was just downgraded right in the middle of the show. Oh, you're not that good of a friend.
We have a good friendship, but we're not good friends. I guess this would be the way. We have a good relationship, but we're not like, we don't talk.
Okay.
But if I ever saw him, he'd be like, hey, what's up? I'd be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
So Alyssa, thank you very much for being on our show.
Guys. So great to see you. I really mean that.
I don't know what's going to happen
when it's open. What was that?
Yeah, I said I don't know what's going to happen.
I know.
Maybe we'll invite you on the podcast. We'll see.
Please.
We can do a long form version of this and just continually shoot the shit for like 2 hours.
I'm in. I got not much more to do, as you could see. I'm hanging out by my bookshelf. Never thought this bookshelf would be in so many like different Zoom interviews, and everyone's like, "What? Tell me about your bobbleheads." And I have so many up there. I'm like, I don't know where to begin. Got Scotty Pods, Mark Burley. You guys know all the giveaways.
I just have all James Shields back there. That's all that I have.
How dare you?
What a guy.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and participating on 3 things.
He is my favorite Sox of all time.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw that out.
Got it. Noted.
All right. Thanks, Alyssa. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
See you. Bye.